Gorboduc, the king of the Britain, proclaims that he will divide his lands between his two sons Forex and Firex. However, his council members tells him that this is a bad idea. And to back up their warning, they tells about the story of the two cousins named Conidag and Morgan who once ruled the Britain together. And when the two started to argue about the rightful ownership of the throne, they decided to destroy the relationship. And Conidag bitterly killed Morgan. Gorboduc thanks his councils about the warning, but he still go with his ideas anyway. And now, Firex's scheming advisor, Hermon, tells him to get Forex's portion of the kingdom the first chance he gets. Tendor, Forex's advisor, tells Forex that Firex intend to start a war against him. And as a preemptive measure, Forex invades Firex's part of the kingdom. Now, Firex perceives that the invasion is the confirmation of Hermon's suspicion. Dordan sends word to Gorboduc that the two brothers Forex and Firex are fighting. Gorboduc laments the fact that the history repeats itself, but declines to raise an army to intervene. Then, Nonches enters with the word that Firex has been slain. Forex seeks an audience with Gorboduc, explaining himself that he had no choice but to kill his brother, for Firex wanted to get his land. Gorboduc did not make any final judgment about Forex and Firex's feud. And that night, Gorboduc's wife, or the Queen Vidina, went to the bedside of Forex and stabs him to death. Outraged at the double murder, Gorboduc's people blamed Gorboduc for the death of Forex, whom they loved. The noble class prepared or readies their arms to kill the rebels, and at the same time, the succession of the throne is being debated. And now, the Duke of the Albany Fergus plot to seize the throne. He amasses an army with the help of his friends. The noble kills the rebels just as Fergus' army is raised. A nobleman named Arustus tries to mediate this dispute through the control of the government. And through the parliament, the next king will be decided.
The tragedy of Gorboduc, often abbreviated as Gorboduc and alternatively titled Ferrex and Forex, is a 1561 play co-written by English authors Thomas Sackville and Thomas Norton. It is the first known verse drama to use the poetic form called blank verse, which refers to the use of unrhymed lines in iambic pentameter. A political play, it concerns the legendary Brittonic realm of Gorboduc, whose throne was fought over by Gorboduc's sons Forex and Firex. The legend of Gorboduc was a sensitive topic during the play's era because it mirrored real-life anxieties regarding Queen Elizabeth I's right to rule and determine the rightful succession to her throne. The play borrows some plot elements from Seneca's tragic plays, but is also considered to have distinctly departed from such earlier models. Some scholars argue that it prefigures Shakespeare's late 16th century plays King Lear, and Titus Andronicus. At the onset of the play, a narrator summarized the legend of the king of Britain, Gorboduc. Gorboduc split his realm in half, giving half to each of his sons, Ferrex and Porrex. The sons squabbled over what they each thought was an unfair share given to the other brother. Ultimately, the younger Porrex killed the elder Ferrex. Then, their mother Vidina killed Porrex to avenge her favorite son's death. Then the king's people, shocked by the bloodshed and malice displayed by their leaders, killed both Gorboduc and Vidina. The kingdom then broke out in a civil war started by the nobility who tried to preserve order by killing the initial rebels. For years afterward, the Britons suffered from famine and unrest, their population and dignity having both of them demolished. The play's action begins. Gorboduc proclaims that he will divide his land between Porrex and Ferrex. His council members tell him that is a bad idea to back up their warning. They cite the story of the cousins Count Cunidag and Morgan who one ruled Britain together when the two began to argue but the rightful ownership of the throne. They destroyed their relationship and Cunidag bitterly killed Morgan. Gorboduc thanks his council for the warning but proceeds with his idea anyway. Ferrex's scheming advisor Hermon tells him to take Porrex's portion of the kingdom the first chance he gets. Tindor, Porrex's advisor, tells Porrex that Ferrex intends to start a war against him as a prima, prim, preemptive measure. Porrex invades Ferrex's part of the kingdom. Ferrex perceives the invasion of confirmation of Hermon's suspicion. Dordan sends word to Gorboduc that the brothers are fighting. Gorboduc laments the fact that history has repeated itself but declined to raise an army to intervene. Then Nuntius enters with word that Ferrex has been slain. Porrex seeks an audience with Gorboduc explaining that he had no choice but to kill his brother. For Ferrex wanted to take his land, Gorboduc makes the final judgment about Porrex and Ferrex's feud. However, that night, Gorboduc's wife Vidina goes to Porrex's bedside and stabs him to death. Outraged at the double murder, Gorboduc's people blame Gorboduc for the death of Porrex, whom they love. The noble class raises their arms to kill the rebels at the same time. The line of succession is being debated. The Duke of Albany, Fergus, plots to seize the throne. He amasses an army with the help of his friends. The noble killed the rebels just as Fergus' army is raised. They labeled him a foreign enemy and vowed to fight back. A nobleman Arostos tries to mediate the dispute through the controls of the government, proposing that Parliament decides the next king. In the play's final scene, Eubulus laments the kingdom's tragedy. He states that it could have been prevented had the kingdom simply relied on Parliament from the beginning. Unlike the original legend, the play concludes with optimism. Eubulus describes his vision of a future in which justice triumphs over greed. Sackville and Norton's Gorboduc subverts the tragic story. It is based on showing that civilization can survive the failures of its individual members, no matter how powerful they are.